I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Currently, I am in the first book of Samuel. This will be chapter 22. David gains followers. He goes from one place to another, fleeing from Saul. Saul slays the priests who showed David kindness. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And every one that was in distress, and every one that was in debt, and every one that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men. So David comes back from the Philistines because he realizes the Philistines aren't going to be too friendly at this time. And he hides in the cave, and all the people start flocking to David. A lot of people, his family comes to him. Those who don't like Saul as their king are gathering to David. Verse 3, And David went thence to Mizpah of Moab. And he said unto the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth, and be with you till I know what God will do for me. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while that David was in the hold. And the prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold, depart, and get thee into the land of Judah. Then David departed, and came into the forest of Hereth. When Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah, under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, Hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that sheweth me that my son hath made a league with the son of Jesse, and there is none of you that is sorry for me, or sheweth unto me that my son hath stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait as at this day. Now, this is interesting. Gad the seer, we are given no direct writings of Gad, but he is mentioned a number of times. The prophet Gad. He tells David not to hide in this particular cave, and he goes out into the land of Judah, because apparently this cave was in the land of Benjamin. And Saul heard that David was found, and he stirs up the Benjamites. He's getting his own tribe, and he's saying, Look, I'm a Benjamite. I'm going to reward you, so why didn't anybody tell me that Jonathan helped David escape? Then we have this, verse 9. Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub. And he inquired of the Lord for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath, the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests that were in Nob. And they came, all of them, to the king. And Saul said, Hear now, thou son of Ahitub. And he answered, Here am I, my lord. And Saul said unto him, Why have you conspired against me, thou and the son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and hast inquired of God for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait, as at this day? Then Ahimelech answered the king, and said, And who is so faithful among all thy servants as David, which is the king's son-in-law, and goeth at thy bidding, and is honorable in thine house? Did I then begin to inquire of the God for him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. So Doeg the Edomite rats him out, says, Oh, I saw him with Ahimelech, and Ahimelech helped him out. So he calls and he says, Why are you helping out my enemy? Why are you helping the man that is going to destroy my throne? And Ahimelech says, Wait a minute. All I've ever heard about this is David's a great guy. He's your son-in-law. He's done everything you've told him to do. I had no idea there was a feud between you guys. But Saul orders his death anyways. So verse 17. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn, and slay the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not shew it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of the Lord. And the king said to Doeg, Turn thou, and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priests, and slew on that day 75 persons that did wear a linen ephod. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and sucklings, and oxen and asses and sheep, with the edge of the sword. So the Benjamites wouldn't kill the priests. But Doeg, he's an Edomite. He's not an Israelite. And the Edomites are not faithful to the Lord. So he doesn't have any problem massacring the town. So I doubt he did it by himself. It says 85 people were killed, and then he went and destroyed the city of Nob. So it's unlikely that he was by himself. He probably had a contingent of soldiers that went with him. Probably also not native Israelites. But anyways, verse 20. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abiathar shewed David that Saul had slain the Lord's priests. And David said unto Abiathar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life. But with me thou shalt be in safeguard. So David said, I should have known. This is my fault. I saw Doeg there. I knew something was going to happen. Abiathar escapes, and he basically becomes David's personal priest, traveling with David. So as much as I want to give Saul some sympathy, and I do think that he was suffering some mental instabilities, this here makes Saul a murderer. And I just can't see any mental instabilities that will absolve Saul of his guilt of massacring the priests in the city of Nob. This is where I think Saul he is mentally unstable, and he is very jealous and very paranoid of David, and he has let this take him over the edge, and he has become, at this point, this is where he really has become a wicked man. And I think from this point on, there is no bringing Saul back. I think before he could have repented. But at this point, I just don't see how you can repent from something like this. I don't care how mentally unbalanced you are. But we'll leave it there and pick it up in the next chapter.